All right, welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another video today. Today we're going to get into a variety of topics, but this first one, it looks like the new Tesla Model 3 Project Highland, the new refresh, the new Model 3 might be actually coming out this year, and we've got some details that might have been leaked from I would say, a pretty credible source. So we'll take a look at it. We'll go through each and every detail that is new with this, along with a variety of topics on Tesla buying and some of the news in the EV space. But before we get into any of that, let's roll that intro real quick. All right, so thanks for watching another stream. Thanks for watching another video. My name is Dennis, and I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it. And here we talked about how to get the best deal on a Tesla or the best financing rate to pay less for your Tesla. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And shout out to my latest Patreon members, John, Charles. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for hitting that Patreon button or the YouTube join button if you want to support and get access to my buying guide, which has the latest document of credit unions and banks that all have interest rates better than Tesla financing. So let us take a look at this. Let us jump into this. So shout out, of course, to Not a Tesla app on Twitter. They broke the news. Breaking news: Tesla's Model 3 Project Highland exposed. What's changing? So they're pretty credible. They released some other stuff earlier this year, but let's take a look at their website and see what they actually posted. So exclusive, Tesla Model 3 Project Highland exposed. What's actually changing, by Kevin Armstrong. So we've already know this. We know there's a Project Highland that's supposed to come out at some point, maybe even this year, maybe even next year. And also we've got Project Juniper for the Model Y that also could be coming out. I think if I were to put on my logic hat, that would be a next year thing for the Project Juniper, or maybe even the year after, because we got to look at the timing, right? So Model 3 first came out, I want to say like 2017, 2018, and then the Model Y came out in like 2020. So there was like some big gaps between all those different model changes between the Model 3 and the Model Y. So there's a good chance that there's going to be a huge gap on this. But if you're buying a Model 3 right now, or if you got a pending order, you might want to stay tuned to this or even read all of this, because it seems like there's a big amount of changes that potentially could be coming down the pipeline for the Model 3. So the first one is redesigned headlights. It looks like the caped Model 3s, the ones that you've been seeing around also in the thumbnail with the black covering on this, has been spotted with the front bumper and rear end dash covered. However, more recently, the Incognito Model 3 had its headlights covered. So potentially this might mean a redesigned headlight. There's also talk of maybe a potential camera within that headlight, but I mean that's just pure speculation at this point. But I guess this whole thing is kind of pure speculation. But the first thing that could be coming out is a redesigned headlight, and this is kind of the Tesla's MO, right? If we look at from the Model S and the Model X from previous generations, they don't go too crazy with these refreshes. They make slight changes here and there. They change the wheels, the bumper, the back bumper, of course, maybe in the headlights, small stuff that can really make a difference in the long run. So what we're talking about right here is this front area, this headlight, of course, and then this sloped front part of the bumper. And so the next thing that could be coming out with a new Model 3 refresh is a bumper camera. We saw this currently in the Cybertruck that was spotted at the Investor Day, and you saw there's like a little camera right here. And this is good because I think some of you come in here in the chat and they ask about it, like, is there a curb camera? And this is exactly what that would be, kind of like an eye level or ground level camera showing the front of the area. And so this would be cool if they could integrate this. I mean, that's not really a design change, but that's just more technology change at the end of the day. So the next one is the rear bumper. I mean, I wouldn't see why this wouldn't be a change. This wouldn't not be a change, but they would definitely change up the front and rear bumper because that's Tesla's MO. They change up the bumpers for the Model S and the X, and they would certainly do that for the Model 3. It's also cheap, right? It's not that expensive. Like, it's not like all these other OEMs that go crazy and change up the every part of the car entirely. And this is kind of just what Tesla would do. Next up is the mirrors. That could make a lot of sense at the same time. And of course, additional cameras. Now that Tesla has a ton of cameras on the new cameras on the Model S and the X with the hardware 4.0 that's supposedly out right now, they could see this adding to the Model 3 and the Y to further enhance the hardware 4.0. So this is some good insight because potentially right now, if you're taking delivery of a Model 3 or Model Y, your vehicle might not or will not have hardware 4.0 until the latest and newest refresh edition of that vehicle. So maybe they would continue to refresh both at the same time. I don't think so. I think they would do the Model 3 first and then maybe the Model Y after. But this would be interesting because now the hardware 4.0 would probably be on the new refresh, and it wouldn't make sense to change any of the current ones now. But with all these added cameras, we could see potentially a real bird's eye view that's been teased for a while now. The next thing is like sensors. To cut costs, Tesla's removing the vehicle temperature sensor that is used to detect the temperature outside the vehicle. Instead of using a temperature sensor, the vehicle will determine the exterior temperature based on GPS location and weather data. So, I mean, we've heard of this a lot, that Tesla's trying to save costs with the Model 3 and the Model Y across all the different lines. So that certainly makes sense. And then looking at to the interior of the vehicle, because this is probably the most exciting part of the vehicle, because we're going to sit in that, we're going to see that and use it day by day. But however, it says don't expect a major refresh as we saw with the 2020 Model S, but it will be noticeable. The wood trim is being removed, replaced with fabric finish and possibly Alcantara fabric that Tesla already uses in the Model S and the X. I mean, leave it to Tesla though. They still will probably do something to try and update it to make it, maybe even make a bigger screen. We saw that with the Cybertruck now has even a larger screen than we've ever seen ever, like bigger than the Model S and the X. And so I could certainly see that coming to the Model 3, or maybe like a size in between of that on the Model 3 and the Model Y. And then taking a look at the last final step, which is the release date. Nada Tesla is still reporting that production for this vehicle is expected to start in the third quarter of this year. So if we believe Nada Tesla, if we believe their source, potentially a brand new Model 3 might be coming out very, very soon. I mean, we're just wrapping up the first quarter right now, and that would explain why there is a good amount of Model 3 still in inventory. Maybe a lot of people out there are waiting for the new refresh Model 3, or is it there just is not that much demand. And so if the inventory keeps staying up like this, maybe Tesla will pull forward a new refresh, maybe like a summertime, or maybe even a late back to school time. But this should be pretty interesting. So if you've got a pending order for a Model 3, or if you're interested in buying a Model 3, just be aware, like a new one might be around the corner. If you don't need a car, if you can wait, it might be worthwhile to just wait it out for the newest one. But of course, the flip side to that is that could come at a higher price. That definitely could be at a higher interest rate. And so if you've got a low interest rate, like if you've got 2.5 or 3.5, like down below in Patreon link, there's a guide, then it might be worth it to just try and pull the trigger on a vehicle at the moment. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it. Let me know what you're thinking. We're going to jump into our next topic, but shout out to Nada Tesla for posting this article and I guess essentially leaking all the details about the brand new exclusive Model 3 project Highland that supposedly is coming out this year. But before we do that, this video is like sponsored by my Patreon link. Down in the description is the Patreon link where you can support the channel, and there's a variety of benefits, so definitely check it out if you're interested.